The galaxy laughed at humans for bringing diplomats instead of warriors, right up until 3 human warships folded into orbit and ended the battle before anyone could blink. I am Vector of the Quillian Diplomatic Corps, standing in the main reception hall of Station Harmony 7, watching what can only be described as the galaxy's most elaborate show and tell session. Except instead of kids bringing their favorite toys, we have interstellar civilizations parading their most intimidating military personnel like it is some kind of cosmic fashion week. And let me tell you, the variety is impressive. The Kravor delegation. They brought Commander Thrax, who stands roughly 3 meters tall, has 4 arms that could crush titanium, and apparently bathes in the blood of his enemies, or so the rumors say. Personally, I think he just has a really aggressive skincare routine, but who am I to judge? The Xanthi contingent decided to one-up everyone by bringing not 1 but 7 of their finest warrior monks. Each one is supposedly capable of achieving perfect harmony with the universe while simultaneously disemboweling you with their mind. Very zen, very terrifying. Very on brand for the Xanthi, honestly. Even the Plixians, and they are a species that communicates primarily through interpretive dance, brought their Grand Admiral. She has 43 combat ribbons, has never lost a single battle, and can apparently kill you with a particularly aggressive pirouette. I have not personally witnessed this, and I am not eager to verify the claim. But Earth, oh Earth, Earth sends diplomats. Just diplomats. Bureaucrats. Civilians in nice suits who smile a lot and say things like, let us find a mutually beneficial solution, and perhaps we can revisit this clause in subcommittee. The most dangerous thing about them is how boring they can make contract negotiations sound. This has been going on for 15 cycles now, ever since humanity joined the Galactic Council. 15 cycles of every other species flexing their military might at these summits, and 15 cycles of humans showing up with nothing more threatening than briefcases and tablet computers. My supervisor, Ambassador Krell, has a theory. He thinks humans are cowards, weak, pathetic, unable to project strength because they simply do not have any to project. I have heard him say on multiple occasions, after perhaps one too many fermented nectars, that humanity got lucky in the admission war, that they must have found some abandoned technology or hired mercenaries or possibly just hid behind asteroid fields while everyone else did the actual fighting. I am not entirely convinced he is right, but I also have no evidence he is wrong. Today is the opening day of the 47th Galactic Peace Summit, and the pattern holds true. Every delegation has stationed their most impressive military figures around the conference halls. The Draxon have battle-scarred veterans standing at attention every 5 meters. The Morphean Empire has positioned their elite guard, each one bioengineered for maximum lethality, at every entrance and exit. And the humans? The humans have Carl. Carl is the head of Earth's diplomatic security team, and I am being generous with the word security. He is perhaps 60 cycles old in human years, slightly overweight, and is currently eating what appears to be a sandwich while leaning against a decorative pillar. He nods pleasantly at everyone who walks by, his weapon, apparently clipped to his belt under his jacket, but I have never actually seen him touch it. His most aggressive action to date was asking someone to please not lean on a particular door because it was alarmed. Terrifying stuff. Truly. The human delegation leader this cycle is Ambassador Robert Chen, a pleasant man with graying hair and a smile that makes him look like someone's favorite uncle. His second in command is Diana Okoye, a woman with sharp eyes and sharper business attire who always seems to be 3 steps ahead in any negotiation. The rest of their team consists of trade specialists, cultural liaisons, and one person whose job title is literally conflict resolution specialist, which sounds fancy but basically means she makes everyone feel heard during arguments. No generals, no admirals, no commanders of anything more threatening than a spreadsheet. I watch Ambassador Chen enter the hall now, shaking hands, laughing at jokes, compliment someone on their ceremonial sash. He looks about as dangerous as a particularly friendly houseplant. This is going to be an interesting summit, though honestly, I am starting to think interesting might be the wrong word. Predictable is probably more accurate. Humans talk, everyone else postures, deals get made, and we all go home. What could possibly go wrong? The human delegation files into the Grand Assembly Chamber at precisely 0900 Standard Galactic Time. Because of course they do. Humans are annoyingly punctual. Not fashionably late like the Valorians. Not dramatically early like the Kresh who enjoy watching everyone else arrive. Just on time, every single time. Ambassador Chen leads the group, carrying what I can only assume is a briefcase full of extremely well-organized documents. He is wearing a navy blue suit that probably cost less than a single Krav or ceremonial battle harness, and he has the audacity to look completely comfortable. Behind him, Diana Okai walks with perfect posture, her tablet already in hand, probably cross-referencing 17 different treaty clauses before breakfast. The rest of the human team follows in a neat little line. There is Thomas Park, their trade negotiator, who apparently has 3 children and will show you pictures if you so much as make eye contact. There is Jennifer Adiola, their cultural liaison, who once spent 40 minutes explaining human coffee culture to a very confused Morphean, who does not actually have a digestive system. And bringing up the rear is Carl, still chewing his sandwich, now carrying what appears to be a cup of coffee. This is Earth's mighty delegation. I catch the eye of Scarveth, one of the Kravor military attaches, and the look we share speaks volumes. His species has ruled 12 systems through sheer military dominance. Mine has maintained our position through careful diplomacy backed by a very capable fleet. And here come the humans, looking like they are arriving for a mid-level corporate merger discussion. They bring no honor guard again. Scarveth rumbles, his voice like gravel in a cement mixer. Do they not understand the purpose of these summits? We are not here merely to talk. We are here to remind each other of consequences. Maybe they forgot, I offer, watching as Ambassador Chen warmly greets the Zenthi delegation, completely unbothered by the warrior monks who could probably kill him with a stern thought. Or maybe, Scarveth continues, leaning in conspiratorially, they have nothing to remember us with. I have heard their military is mostly for show. Outdated ships, undertrained personnel. They probably spend more on their diplomacy budgets than their defense. From across the hall, I notice High Commander Zilix of the Plixian Armada watching the humans with unconcealed amusement. She gestures to one of her aides, and even from this distance I can see her mandibles clicking in what passes for Plixian laughter. The Draxum contingent is not even trying to hide their contempt. General Cormath actually snorts, which is impressive considering Draxan do not technically have noses. His scales ripple with something between amusement and disdain as he watches Diana Opier politely decline a traditional Valorian greeting ritual, probably because it involves blood oaths and humans are weird about cutting themselves for social niceties. Every summit, the same thing, mutters Ambassador Krell, my supervisor, as he sidles up next to me. He is holding a data slate and wearing his most superior expression, which is really saying something because superior is basically his default setting. They parade in here with their soft skin and softer spines, smile their little smiles and expect to be taken seriously. They do seem rather, well, unprotected, I admit. Unprotected. Vector. They are practically gift-wrapped for any species with half a mind to take advantage. Krell taps his data slate smugly. Mark my words, one of these days someone is going to call their bluff, and Earth is going to fold faster than a Zenthi meditation cushion. I watch as Thomas Park does indeed pull out pictures of his children to show a very patient or possibly trapped Morphean diplomat. Jennifer Adeola is now explaining something with very enthusiastic hand gestures to a group of Valorians who look like they are trying to figure out if this is some kind of elaborate threat display. Carl has finished his sandwich and is now checking what appears to be a sports score on his personal communicator. Do you think they even have a real military? I ask, more to myself than to Krell. Oh, they have something, Krell says dismissively. Probably enough to patrol their own system and look official during their little independence celebrations. The true power? The kind that makes other species think twice? Please, look at them. And I do look at them. Ambassador Chen is now laughing, actually laughing, at something the notoriously humorless Kresh ambassador said. Diana Okoye has somehow already seated herself at the negotiation table and is arranging her materials with the calm efficiency of someone who has never worried about physical threats in her entire life. Scarveth shakes his massive head, his battle scars catching the light. 15 cycles in the council, and they still do not understand how this works. You bring your warriors, you show your strength, you remind everyone why attacking you would be, what is the human phrase? A bad idea. A very bad idea. I correct automatically. Yes, that. But Earth? He gestures broadly at the human delegation. Earth brings accountants. The sad thing is he is not wrong. That is exactly what they look like. Accountants, middle managers, customer service representatives. Not a single person in that delegation looks like they have ever held a weapon, let alone used one. And yet, something nags at me. Something I cannot quite put into words. There is a confidence in the way Ambassador Chen moves through the room. Not arrogance, nothing like the Cravor swagger, or the Zenthi serenity, just ease, like a person who has absolutely no concerns about his safety whatsoever, which given the company should probably be concerning. But what do I know? I am just a mid-level diplomatic aide watching humans be human. This is going to be a long summit. 3 hours into the summit, right in the middle of Ambassador Krell's incredibly boring presentation on trade route optimization, the station alarms start screaming. Not the polite chiming that means someone left a door open. Not the gentle beeping that indicates a scheduled maintenance cycle. No, this is the full-throated, gut-wrenching wail that means something has gone catastrophically wrong. The main view screen flickers to life, and Station Commander Vrill's face appears, his expression somewhere between panic and fury. All delegates, we are under attack. Multiple hostile vessels have breached the outer perimeter. This is not a drill. Military personnel to defensive positions immediately. All civilians to designated safe zones. For exactly 2 seconds. Nobody moves. We are all too shocked. Station Harmony 7 is supposed to be neutral territory, protected by 17 different treaty agreements and enough defensive satellites to make any attacker think twice. Apparently someone did not get the memo. Then chaos erupts. The Cravor warriors are already moving. Weapons appearing from places I did not know could hide weapons. The Zenthi warrior monks flow toward the exits like a synchronized death ballet. The Plixian admiral is barking orders in 3 languages simultaneously, while her honor guard forms a protective perimeter. And the humans are just standing there. Ambassador Chen calmly closes his briefcase. Diana Okai taps something on her tablet. Thomas Park looks mildly annoyed, like someone just canceled his dinner reservation. Jennifer Adiola actually sighs. Carl, and I cannot make this up, Carl takes another sip of his coffee. Should we not be moving? I hiss at Ambassador Krell, who is already gathering his materials with shaking hands. Yes, to the safe zones, quickly now. He is trying to maintain dignity, but his feathers are ruffling in all the wrong ways, which is a dead giveaway for Quillian panic. Through the view screen I can see the attackers now. 6 heavy Corsair ships, bristling with weapons, bearing the marks of the Bloodfang Marauders, because of course it is the Bloodfang Marauders, the most notorious pirate fleet in 3 sectors, led by Grask the Ruthless, who is famous for 2 things, taking what he wants and leaving no witnesses. This is bad. This is very, very bad. The station's defense grid opens fire, bright lances of energy streaking across the void. The Cravor warship docked at Port 3 is powering up weapons. The Zenthi meditation vessel, which is apparently also a very heavily armed meditation vessel, is launching fighter craft. Even the Draxon cruiser is maneuvering into position. It should be enough. It should be more than enough. We have the combined military might of 7 major galactic powers currently docked at this station. Except the Bloodfang Marauders are not running. They are not even slowing down. Their ships weave through our defensive fire like it is a training exercise. Their shields absorb hits that should have crippled them. One of their vessels actually rams through a section of the defense grid, and I watch in horror as an entire satellite array goes dark. How are they doing this? Someone shouts. Military-grade shielding combat algorithms. They came prepared. Scarveth growls, his confidence from earlier evaporating rapidly. They knew exactly what they would face here. The battle is not going well. The Cravor warship scores a direct hit on 1 Corsair, but 2 more are already flanking it. The Zenthi fighters are fast, incredibly fast, but the pirates are faster. Within minutes it becomes clear that we are not winning. We are barely holding. A massive impact rocks the entire station. The lights flicker. Somewhere in the distance I hear the sound of explosive decompression, quickly sealed by emergency bulkheads. They are boarding us, Commander Rill's voice crackles over the intercom. Decks 7 through 12. All military personnel repel boarders. Civilians, stay in the safe zones and do not, I repeat, do not attempt to engage. This is a nightmare. An actual living nightmare. Pirates are boarding a neutral diplomatic station during a peace summit. The kind of thing that starts wars. The kind of thing that gets entire species sanctioned. The kind of thing that simply does not happen because everyone understands the consequences. Except it is happening right now. I look around for the human delegation, expecting to see them cowering, panicking, finally understanding that their lack of military presence was a catastrophic miscalculation. Instead, Ambassador Chen is on his communicator, just talking, like he is ordering lunch. Yes, This is Ambassador Chen. Authorization code Alpha 7 Tango 92. We have a situation at Station Harmony 7. Hostile boarding action in progress. Bloodfang Marauders. Approximately 6 capital ships. His voice is calm, almost conversational. No. We are fine. Yes. All personnel accounted for. I am going to need you to send. Oh, let us call it a proportional response. He pauses. Listens. Excellent. ETA. Perfect. We will keep the lights on for you. He hangs up. Diana Okaya looks at him. Proportional? I was being polite. Chen replies with a small shrug. I stare at them. We are under attack by the most dangerous pirate fleet in 3 sectors. The station's combined military forces are barely holding the line, and the human ambassador just made a phone call. A phone call. That is your response? Ambassador Krell's voice is shrill with hysteria. A phone call? What good is a phone call? We need weapons. We need ships. We need actual military support, not whatever bureaucratic nonsense you people think passes for security. Ambassador Chen looks at him with those calm, grandfatherly eyes. Ambassador Krell, we do not bring our military to peace summits. That would be inappropriate. Another explosion rocks the station. But we do keep them on speed dial, Diana Okoye adds, checking her tablet like she is reviewing a grocery list. They should be here in, about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. They called for help, and help is 8 minutes away. I want to laugh. I want to cry. Mostly I want to laugh, because this is absurd. The station is under siege. The best warriors from 7 different species are fighting for their lives, and the humans think their cavalry is going to arrive in 8 minutes and somehow save the day. Adorable. Truly adorable. I crouch behind an overturned table as weapons fire echoes through the corridors outside our safe zone. The Kravor are holding the main junction. The Zenthi have formed a defensive line at the entrance. The Plixians are coordinating strike teams through their tactical network, and the humans are waiting for a phone call to pay off. This is how Earth's diplomatic corps dies, I think. Not with weapons in hand, not fighting bravely, but waiting patiently for help that probably will not arrive in time, and definitely will not be enough even if it does. Carl finishes his coffee and carefully places the empty cup on a nearby surface. 7 minutes now, he says to no one in particular. Oh good. I think hysterically. We are being murdered on a schedule. How wonderfully human. 6 minutes pass like 6 hours. The fighting is brutal. The Bloodfang Marauders are pushing deeper into the station despite everything we throw at them. The Kravor have lost 3 warriors. The Zenthi warrior monks are holding, but even their supernatural calm is starting to crack. Commander Vril is coordinating from the bridge, his voice getting more desperate with each update. Deck 9 is compromised. Deck 8 holding but taking heavy casualties. They are pushing toward the diplomatic quarters, all remaining security to sections 4 through 7. Another impact shakes the station. Dust falls from the ceiling. Someone is screaming in a language I do not recognize. The acrid smell of plasma fire seeps through the ventilation system. Ambassador Chen checks his watch. 2 minutes, he announces calmly. Ambassador Krell has given up on dignity entirely, and is now huddled behind a reinforced pillar, his feathers completely disheveled. 2 minutes until what? Until we all die? Until your imaginary fleet arrives? This is insanity. Not imaginary, Diana Okoye says, not looking up from her tablet, and not a fleet. We only called for a rapid response unit. A unit. I cannot help myself. 1 unit. Against 6 capital ships and however many hundreds of pirates? Well, Thomas Park chimes in helpfully. It is a pretty good unit. I am going to die on this station listening to humans make what I can only assume are jokes about their impending deaths. This is not how I imagined my career in the diplomatic corps ending. Carl stands up, walks to the window and looks out at the battle raging in space beyond. 30 seconds, he says. How can you possibly know that, I ask. He taps his ear, and I notice for the first time a small communication device, because they are telling me. And then, everything changes. Space, just beyond the station, does something I have never seen before. It does not just open. It does not simply tear. It folds, twists, and spits out 3 ships that absolutely should not exist. They are not big. That is the first thing my brain registers. The Kravor warship is bigger. The Zenthi meditation cruiser is more elegant. These 3 human vessels are compact, angular and covered in what looks like matte black armor that seems to absorb light rather than reflect it. They do not announce themselves. They do not hail the pirates. They do not issue warnings. They simply open fire. And oh no, the lead human ship, and I will learn later it is called the UES Hammer, fires something that I initially think is a missile. Except missiles do not move like that. Missiles do not adjust their trajectory 17 times in 3 seconds. Missiles do not split into 12 separate warheads that each independently select targets. The first Bloodfang Corsair's shields do not just fail. They collapse, implode, and then the ship itself comes apart in a sequence of explosions so precise it looks choreographed. 3 seconds. That is how long it takes. 3 seconds from firing to complete destruction. The pirates, to their credit, react quickly. They turn, they return fire, they try to bring their weapons to bear on these new threats. It does not matter. The second human ship, the UES Anvil, does not dodge the incoming fire so much as it simply is not where the fire is going. Its movements are impossible. Ships that size should not be able to maneuver like that. Physics should not allow it. And yet, it weaves through a barrage that would have shredded our defensive satellites, and returns fire with weapons that turn another Corsair into expanding debris. 5 seconds. The second pirate ship is gone in 5 seconds. What are we watching? Scarveth's voice comes over the general channel, and for the first time since I have known him, the mighty Crowver warrior sounds afraid. The third human vessel, the UES Judgment, positions itself between the station and the remaining 4 pirate ships. It is smaller than the other 2, sleeker, and it does something that makes my blood run cold. It plays music. I can pick it up on the open channels. Some kind of human composition. All drums and bass and intensity. The pirates can hear it too. I know because one of them breaks radio silence. What is this? What are you? The response comes in a voice that sounds almost bored. This is Commander Lisa Zhao of the United Earth Space Force Rapid Response Group. You are in violation of Galactic Statute 7, Subsection 3, attacking a diplomatic station. You have 30 seconds to power down weapons and prepare to be boarded. Or we will assume you prefer the alternative. Alternative. Grask the Ruthless himself snarls over the channel. You are 3 ships. We are the Bloodfang Marauders. We have terrorized 50 systems. We do not surrender to 3 ships. 20 seconds, Commander Zhao replies. One of the pirate vessels tries to run, just turns and burns full thrust away from the station. The UES Hammer fires once. A single lance of energy that crosses the distance so fast I almost miss it. The fleeing Corsair's engines explode, then its reactor, then the entire aft section. The front half of the ship tumbles away, lifeless. 15 seconds. Another pirate ship opens fire. Everything it has full broadside at the UES Anvil. The human ship's shields I did not even know were active, light up like a miniature star. The pirate weapons might as well be throwing rocks. The Anvil does not even bother to return fire immediately. It waits, almost contemptuously, for the barrage to end. Then, it fires one shot. One single shot. The pirate ship does not explode. It simply stops. Every light goes dark. Every system fails. It hangs in space, dead, a corpse of metal and broken dreams. 10 seconds. We surrender. One of the pirate captains breaks. We surrender. Ceasefire, we are powering down. The last pirate vessel, Grask's flagship, does not surrender. It fires everything, launches every fighter, activates every weapon system. It is a desperate, furious assault, the kind of firepower that would overwhelm most military vessels. The UES Judgment does not even slow down. It flies through the incoming fire like it is not there. Its point defense systems creating a web of precision destruction that eliminates every single threat. Missiles vanish. Fighters turn to vapor. Energy blasts dissipate against shields that seem to operate on principles I do not understand. And then the Judgment fires its main weapon. I do not know what it is. I do not know how it works. I just know that space in front of Grask's ship seems to compress, fold in on itself, and then expand violently. The Corsair, all 800 meters of it, crumples like paper in a fist. 5 seconds. That entire engagement took 5 seconds. Hostile threats neutralized, Commander Zhao reports, her voice still carrying that almost bored tone. Ambassador Chen, the area is secure. Sorry for the delay. We hit traffic near the Kepler Gate. Ambassador Chen, who has been watching this entire display with the same calm expression he uses for trade negotiations, activates his communicator. No problem at all, Commander. We had faith you would arrive on time. The situation is resolved. The situation is very resolved, sir. We have 1 disabled vessel ready for boarding, 1 surrendered vessel in custody and 4 that chose the alternative. Shall we stick around? Please. I think the delegates might appreciate a visible presence for the remainder of the summit. Copy that. Hammer actual out. The channel goes quiet. The safe zone is silent. Every single being in this room is staring at the view screen where 3 human warships now float in perfect formation, looking about as threatening as anything I have ever seen in my entire life. Ambassador Krell's voice when he finally speaks is barely a whisper. That was your rapid response unit. That was our rapid response unit, Ambassador Chen confirms. Just 3 ships. Just 3 ships. They destroyed the Bloodfang Marauders in under 2 minutes. Closer to 90 seconds, actually. Diana Okoye corrects, checking her tablet. But who is counting? Scarveth stumbles into the safe zone, his armor scorched, his weapons spent. He looks at the humans, then at the view screen, then back at the humans. You bring accountants to peace summits, he says slowly, like he is working through a problem he cannot quite solve. We do. Ambassador Chen agrees pleasantly, because you do not need to bring warriors. Well, Ambassador Chen smiles that grandfatherly smile. That would be inappropriate. I sink down against the wall, my legs suddenly unable to support my weight. The humans do not bring their military to peace summits. Not because they do not have one, but because they absolutely do. 4 hours later, after the station has been secured, the wounded treated, and the surviving pirates transferred to holding cells that are probably too good for them, I find myself in the station's observation lounge with a drink I very much need. Ambassador Chen finds me there. Of course he does. Mind if I join you? He asks, already holding 2 glasses of what appears to be human whiskey. I gesture to the seat across from me, too exhausted to be properly diplomatic. It seems presumptuous to say no to the representative of a species that just saved all our lives. He settles into the chair with a slight groan, the kind that suggests a long day catching up with old bones. Please, do not think of it that way. We are all colleagues here. We are all part of the same council. Colleagues. I repeat, accepting the glass he offers. Is that what we are? I would like to think so. He takes a sip, savoring it. I know today was, well, educational for many people. Educational, that is one word for watching everything you thought you knew about galactic power dynamics get shredded in 90 seconds. Why? The question comes out before I can stop it. Why do you do this? Why come to these summits with no protection, no warriors, no visible show of force? You had to know how it looked. You had to know what everyone was saying about Earth behind closed doors. Chen looks out the window at the 3 human warships still holding position around the station. The UES Judgment has its running lights on now and they cast strange shadows across his face. We knew, he says quietly. Of course we knew. We have intelligence services, Vector. We hear the whispers. Earth is weak. Earth is soft. Earth got lucky. Earth does not belong at the big table. Then why allow it? Why not bring your warriors like everyone else? Why not show what you clearly have? He turns back to me and his expression is serious now, the grandfatherly warmth replaced by something harder, something that reminds me that this man did not become Earth's chief ambassador by being nice, because that is not how we want to conduct diplomacy, he says simply. We do not negotiate with guns on the table, Vector. We do not believe that peace talks should be held in the shadow of weapons. When we sit down to discuss trade agreements, or territorial disputes, or cultural exchanges, we want everyone in that room to be thinking about the conversation, not about the size of our military contingent standing outside the door. But everyone else brings their military, I point out. Every species except yours. Does that not put you at a disadvantage? Does it? He raises an eyebrow. Think about today, when the Bloodfang Marauders attacked. Who was more effective? The warriors who were already here, postured and positioned and ready for show, or our 3 ships that arrived in response to a phone call? I have no answer for that. The Crowver, the Zenthi, the Plixians, all of us with our proud warriors and our military might on display, we barely held the line. The humans came in cold and ended the threat in the time it takes to make a cup of coffee. We separate war and peace, Chen continues. When we come to these summits, we come as diplomats. When we negotiate in good faith. We listen. We compromise, we find solutions. We do not loom. We do not threaten. We do not remind everyone at the table that we could kill them if we wanted to. But you could, I say softly. But we could, he agrees. And here is the thing, Vector. Because we do not bring our military to these talks, Because we do not make those implicit threats when we do call them when we do need them. Everyone remembers why. I take a long drink, letting that sink in. You keep them close enough to answer when called. Exactly. 8 minutes, that is our response time to anywhere in this sector. 15 minutes to anywhere in council space. We do not need our military standing in the conference room, because they are never more than a phone call away. And that does not strike you as, I do not know, manipulative? Everyone thinks you are weak, and you just let them. Chen shrugs. Let me ask you something. Right now, after today, do you think Earth is weak? No. I answer immediately. Absolutely not. And if we had been bringing those warships to every summit for the past 15 cycles, showing them off, making sure everyone saw them, would you have learned that lesson better or worse than you did today? I open my mouth, close it. He has a point, and I hate that he has a point. When you negotiate from a position of visible overwhelming force, Chen says, people agree with you because they are afraid. When you negotiate as equals, when you show respect and restraint, and then only when necessary reveal what you are truly capable of, people agree with you because they understand. Understand what? He finishes his drink and stands, placing a friendly hand on my shoulder. That we choose not to be threatening. We do not have to be. And that makes us more dangerous than any species that leads with their weapons. He starts to leave, then pauses. Oh, and Vekthar. For what it is worth, we have always taken the council seriously. We have always respected our fellow members. We just do not believe that respect has to come at gunpoint. I watch him walk away, this unassuming human in his moderately priced suit, and I think about the 3 warships outside that appeared from nowhere and dismantled the most feared pirate fleet in 3 sectors like it was a training exercise. The humans do not bring their military to peace summits. They do not have to. And that, I am beginning to understand, is the entire point. The summit resumes the next morning, and everything has changed while simultaneously staying exactly the same. The Kravors still bring their warriors. The Zenthis still station their warrior monks at every corner. The Plixians still have their honor guard in full ceremonial armor. But now, there is something different in how they stand, how they watch the human delegation pass by. It is not quite fear. It is not quite respect. It is awareness. The humans, for their part, are exactly as they were before. Ambassador Chen with his briefcase and his warm smile. Diana Okai with her tablet and her perfect posture. Thomas Park, showing new pictures of his children, now including one from a recent birthday party. Jennifer Adiola explaining human tea ceremonies to a fascinated group of Valorians. Carl drinking his coffee, looking like everyone's favorite security guard who has never had an exciting day in his life.
Except now we know.
Now we all know. Ambassador Krell avoids me all morning, which is fine because I am not sure what I would say to him anyway. His theory about human weakness, about humanity getting lucky, about them not understanding how galactic power works, all of it has been exposed as precisely what it was, wishful thinking from species who wanted to believe they were still at the top of the food chain. I watch the human delegation take their seats at the negotiation table and I finally understand what I am seeing. This is not weakness. This is not naivety. This is the most sophisticated form of intimidation I have ever witnessed. Because here is what the other species do. They bring their warriors to remind you they can hurt you. They position their guards to make you nervous. They flex their military might so you will not forget who has the power in the room. It is effective, sure, but it is also obvious. It is a threat you can see coming, prepare for, defend against. But humans sit down across from you, smile politely, and discuss contract clauses like reasonable people. They compromise, they listen, they find middle ground, they make you feel safe, comfortable, like you are all equals working toward common goals. And then when someone makes the catastrophic mistake of thinking that civility equals weakness, 3 warships appear from nowhere and remind the entire galaxy exactly what Earth is capable of. The Kravor threaten you with the warriors in the room. Humans threaten you with the warriors you cannot see, the ones you forgot about, the ones that are always just a phone call away. I think about Commander Zhao's voice, that almost bored tone as she gave the Bloodfang Marauders 30 seconds to surrender. I think about how casually those 3 ships erased a threat that had terrorized 50 systems. I think about the fact that this was just a rapid response unit, not even a full battle group, and they made it look easy. Every species in the galaxy that brings their military to these summits is saying, look how strong we are. Be afraid. Earth, by not bringing theirs, is saying something far more terrifying. They are saying, We do not need to show you. You will find out if you make us. And now we have. I looked at Ambassador Chen, laughing at something the Kresh delegate said, completely at ease, surrounded by species that could physically overpower him without breaking a sweat. He is not worried. He has never been worried. Because somewhere, 8 minutes away, there are people whose entire job is making sure he never has to be. The humans separate war and peace, and that is what makes them absolutely terrifying. When the Kravor negotiate, you are always aware of their capacity for violence. It is there in the room with you, coloring every interaction. But when humans negotiate, they are genuinely, authentically interested in finding peaceful solution, right up until the moment they are not. And then you discover that the nice people with briefcases have friends, very capable friends, very close friends, friends who can end your entire existence in 90 seconds while listening to music. The session begins. We discuss trade routes. We debate cultural exchange programs. We argue over mining rights in disputed sectors. It is all very civilized, very professional, very diplomatic. And in the back of my mind, I cannot stop thinking about 3 black warships that fold space like paper and make the impossible look routine. I catch Carl's eye from across the room. He gives me a small nod, raises his coffee cup slightly in what might be a salute or might just be him being polite. I nod back. The humans do not bring their military to peace summits. They really truly do not have to. And somehow that makes them the most powerful species in the room.